Welcome to the Player Development Pod. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about how smaller programs or less resource programs can create player development. Before I get started, I want to say thank you to everyone who attended the 2026 Player Development Summit. You all left me some messages in this notebook, and I really appreciate it. A lot of heartfelt messages. Excited to do that for you all. Looking forward to the 2027 Player Development Summit. So let's dive straight into it. I wanted to bring up this topic because I have a lot of people that talk to me about player development. One of the concerns I hear is, yeah, it was great, but you worked at the University of Houston, you worked at the University of Kansas, and you worked at Baylor University. And so I understand that for people. And they say I was resourced. Now, some of those campuses, we were more resourced than others, but I understand what they're saying. If you're someone at a lower group of five, or let's say, I do a player development study every year. The MAC, the Sun Belt and Conference USA, they don't have player development at every campus, right? Someone may be doing it, but they don't have someone under the title. And so if you do it there, you start there, you would possibly be the first person to do it. You say, how do I do it when I don't have as many resources as a Power 5 school? Or if you're at the FCS level or the D2 level, or even some of my Division I HBCUs, I've heard the resources may not be like those for this other state schools in their state. And even if you're at the Division III level or the JUCO level, or if you're at high school level, maybe you don't have as many resources as you would like to develop athletes, and you find yourself in a place where you say, okay, how do we get this done? How do I develop athletes? How do I get it done? What can help me? And I love this question because, number one, it shows how many people actually want to develop athletes. And I want to say, you all watching this or you all sharing this, please share this with someone who you know wants to develop athletes and maybe at a place where they're a smaller program or they have less resources, right? Thank you all for the work that you want to do and you want to continue to do for athletes. I define player development as the enhancement of the athlete experience through holistic and intentional programs and initiatives. And we're going to talk about how we can take that definition, be intentional with programming, even with whatever resources we may have. Because there's some people that have resources they're at a school with big resources, but their player development department is not getting those resources. That's a whole nother conversation. So wherever you are and you're saying, hey, I want to maximize what I've been given, I want to be a great steward of this role, this opportunity, and really develop athletes. And so we're going to talk about what I call the 3 C's. I call these the 3 C's for those who are a smaller program or less resource to create the impact you want to see and essentially get yourself at the level of others. Someone asked me, what's the biggest difference? I forgot what the question was. It was a great question. I meant to record the call, but they said, when you look at professionals at the big levels, what kind of separates them from those at the smaller schools or levels, or how do you assess impact there? And I said resources, the big thing that kind of creates leveling when it comes to someone that's at a fully resource university, and someone that may not be, what levels the table is intentionality. Intentionality is what it can be your superpower. Intentionality can be your superpower, right? Because if I'm at this big program, I have all these resources, and we do the career fair, we do the trips, and we go out to wherever it may be every year, and we go to New York or LA, or we go overseas, and we have these resources. That's some impact, and that there's intentionality in it. I don't want to say that there's not intentionality in it, so hear me out. But that can become, hey, this is what we do. And it can become something that the person in the role may say, hey, I want to do something else, but the coach and the boosters and everybody are say, hey, let's keep doing this, right? Or someone at a school that's less resources, intentional with every single moment, every single program they have. And so an athlete that goes to FCS school, an athlete that goes to Power 4 school, can have the same development experience based off intentionality. And so intentionality is huge. I've seen people at big programs who just copycat what someone else is doing with no intentionality. It's just, we're going to copycat what they're doing. We're going to take it. We're going to do it here, right? That's not moving the needle. And I've seen people at FCS programs, right, do great things, or less resource programs do great things and really stretch every single thing they have and do a great job. One of those people, I'll highlight her. She does an incredible job. I'll highlight two people doing incredible jobs. And they're actually both at the HBCU level. Aaliyah Hill spoke at the last Player Development Summit, and Aaliyah Hill, what she does at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, is incredible. And we had conversations when she started the role and what she's doing, and she just finds a resource. She makes it happen. She makes it happen. There are resources there. She is, the conference is helping her, but she's doing as much as people at Power 4 programs because she's so intentional with all the programming she does. Another person I'll bring up is Darian Iverson. He's at North Carolina Central. And Darian is just so intentional with everything that happens on campus. If something happens on campus, he's there. He's providing value. He's diving into that, right? And so you look at their athletes could transfer to a Power 4 school and say, man, they could possibly say, is anybody taking care of me? Like, what about this, right? And that's where, like I say, the superpower is intentionality. So I wanted to shout out Aaliyah Hill and Darian Iverson. Hopefully y'all listen to this. Y'all are doing a great job with intentionality. And I really, really appreciate you all being an example. And they posted on LinkedIn. Shout out to them, right? They let people see. LinkedIn is a whole nother. I'm gonna do a podcast on that because I believe that if we were more intentional on LinkedIn from player development, a lot of people would know what we do and we could get more resources. But I'm going to save that for another day. All right, so let's get into the 3 C's. The first C is campus. Campus. What is happening on your campus? I mentioned Aaliyah. I mentioned Darian Iverson. They lock into what's happening on your campus. There are resources on your campus. Now, I'm speaking specifically to my experience is working in college football and college athletics, but I was a high school coach as well. And there were resources on our campus, right? You have career services, right? Where career services, get with those people. You have different types of counselors, right? You have an alumni network if you're on a campus, right? Speaking collegiately, right? Career services, counselors, mental health. You have the alumni, right? You have financial. You should have someone doing finances on the campus. So you have these resources and you go over to these people and say, hey, do you mind connecting with our group? This happened at the University of Houston. We had someone that was working in career services named Asha Saul, sorry. Asha, I always say your name. My accent always takes it over. But anyway, she's working career services and she would come over and she did some programming for our athletes. She did some programming as far as resumes, different things like that. It was incredible, right? I'm not about to sit up there and talk about resumes. My resume was trash. She looked at mine and told me mine was trash. So why would I get up there, right? You go to career services, find that person, right? You go to alumni, right? Every school, I use this at the University of Houston. Every school has their own alumni associate or some type of alumni, someone responsible for every college, right? The college of business or the college of this or the college of that. So I remember I sent a couple of our players at the University of Houston wanted to do some stuff in business. So I sent an email to the person who was responsible for the College of Business. And I remember sending it to her and she was like, oh, our people in College of Business, they really work with business students, but I'll send this out anyway to see what it is. I said, perfect. I just need you to send it to your listserv. She sent it out. I got 7 emails within 30 minutes, right? That's campus. That I couldn't have reached those people who graduated from the University of Houston and wanted to give back, right? And so you have to lock into what's happening on your campus. There's campus events, right? Maybe it is a campus career fair. Maybe your athletes can't go, but you can go. If it's during the season, your athletes can go, you can go to that career fair. You can meet with every company and say, hey, I'm the director of player development for football. We can have this in the spring. And let's say this career fair is in the fall. It can't happen, right? Or you can invite your former players. Hey, come with me. I'm going to do this, right? Or maybe it's a player who is medically exhausted, right? They can't play anymore, whatever it may be, right? You can go over there with them. You could be the representative. Hey, I would love for you to come back to this, right? Whoever's holding a career fair, go talk to people, career services, right? Or alumni, right? There's so many resources on campus, right? Another one is student organizations. Your players, your athletes, guys or girls, they're going to be, they're going to join different student organizations. Get to know them. At every school we were at, well, 2 schools I was at, University of Houston, University of Kansas, we did a student appreciation practice. And so to do the student appreciation practice, I would have to go out and build relationships with these organizations. So I would sit down, answer their questions, whatever. It was awesome. You get to meet people. And then what happened was we started getting volunteers, right? Someone was like, hey, let's go talk to the O team, the orientation team. And the orientation team, shout out to Joe Alcozer. The orientation team became our recruiting guides on recruiting on game days on Saturday. So now I had more flexibility to talk to parents about player development and meet with recruits because they were answering all the questions about the university, right? And so we brought them in. All we had to do was get them a polo and feed them. That's it. Like campus is not much you have to do on campus. Get them some gear that nobody else can get. So when they walk in the office, it's like, oh snap, where'd you get that polo? Oh yeah, I got it for football, right? Campus is there to help. We are all one. We really truly are. I truly believe this, right? And we did at one place, one thing we did is at Baylor University. It was a really good initiative that I walked into that was really, really good. They were already doing it, but we did a professor. We did it at other schools too. Yeah, we did it. We did it every school. It's like a professor of the week. And so the professor comes, they come to the game day to eat dinner with the team, blah, 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 blah. They come to the movies, they got the hotel, and we treat them right. Like we're getting people to be supporters of us, right? Supporters of what we're doing. And so now, if you do professors, make sure academics and compliance are handling that because you don't want no problems. You don't want no problems, right? You don't want any problems. I realized I was a high school coach before I got in player development. I sent an email to a professor just asking when I come by and see them because I wanted to talk about one of the players, how they were doing. I'm a high school coach. That's what I did in high school. I would go meet the coach and compliance like, yeah, you can't email the professors, right? Or here's the way to do it. So make sure before you do that, you get that done. All right, the next C, or before I go to the next C, please lock into your campus. There are a lot of people on campus who want to help, who can provide great value to what you're doing in player development. The next C is the community. The community, right? Wherever you're located, there is a community that supports what you're doing. When I was at the university, we had the third ward. Shout out to the third ward. I love the third ward. The third ward is a historically black neighborhood that's situated right around University of Houston. Is in the third ward, and Texas Southern is there as well. And so we did community things. One thing when we would do community impact, we realized across about a mile away from our school was the first black elementary that was built by the school district in the 20s or the 30s. And they just, they've been through some stuff. They weren't as resourced as other school districts. And so the test scores are low. So what we did is we did a buddy program where our players can go with them weekly, and we would meet with them, we would read with them, we do math with them. We had like little rallies, different things like that. And their test scores got better. And then we invited them to a game because it was us versus TSU. They're literally located right in between the two universities, but locking that in with the community and learning more about the community, right? And it was easy for community impact because it was across the street. So even players who were like, hey, I can't go to this school because that's 30 minutes away. I got to get back for class, whatever have you. They can go real quick and get that done, right? And then we had the community. We had parents come to games. We got to give posters out, different things like that, right? The community wants to support. There's entrepreneurs in the community that want to help, that can give your players externships, right? Job shadow, internship, possibly career placement, right? You want to lock into the community and what's happening, right? We were always locked in. And Houston has its own culture. So we're locked in the community. Shout out to Joe Alcozer, who knows every single person in the city of Houston. But we had Paul Wall, Slim Thug. We had some Houston rappers that I grew up listening to come to practice and be a part of. They bringing the slabs, right? Bringing them slabs, man. They got the elbows poking out, the rims, hey, the trunk pop, bass, all that. Hold up, baby. Hold up. Holding it down in H-Town, right? But we had a community locked in with us. So now they're with us. They're locked in. We got them U of H stuff. They're posting it, right? It's a community there. It's a community that wants to be a part of what we're doing. One thing we were going to get going, and I was really, really excited, but we actually got fired after winning season. And I sat down with our strength coach and I said, hey, I would love to do, because they were doing this thing on campus, fighting childhood obesity, which me and my athletes were helping with. And so I would love to do a community like event where we do like stuff for the community. We got the dietitian out there, the strength coach, and we're just teaching our community how it'll be the, University of Houston football community wellness, fair, whatever you want to call it, right? And we had a super detailed aspect of how we would do it. And I was excited. A lot of people were excited to help the community. We're here. We're here in this community. We spend so much time here. We're eating here, right? We got our posters. We're talking to local restaurants, right? And different things, right? Lock into the community. They can help you. The community knows resources. Community know people. Lock into your community official. Like, it's just an opportunity that you can't miss. When I was at University of Kansas, I was at Lawrence. That was an incredible community. I did not know when I moved to Lawrence that they wanted to win in football. I knew Kansas was big in basketball, but I found out through the community they wanted to win. They wanted to win, and that community unlocked so much stuff from us, so much programming for our athletes, so many opportunities for them career-wise, personally, right? So many mentorships came from the community because the community of Lawrence wanted to be a part of what we're doing. They wanted to be a part of our success. They're your community. They're cheering for you. They're right there. They're right there. And so it was incredible to see that. And I didn't get to spend too much time in Baylor, but Baylor, Waco, the community supported us as well. The community was very supportive of what we were doing, what we were trying to do, and they opened up a lot and allowed us to do some great programming, things like that, right? I have I was actually going through some pictures the other day. We were able to show up to this school. It was the first day of school. They let our players come, and they were really big on not letting people come, but they let our players come. They were excited to have our players there. We got to meet the new police chief. They had us come to that. Like it was just a lot of community events that they will invite you to. And if they do, I would say, hey, make sure you're there, right? When you're doing a community engagement with or community impact with the local school district, what's going on? Like what team? We did a state test rally. We went to this one school. They were doing a state test. Our guys had jerseys on. We hyped them up. Some of our guys gave some motivational speeches. They actually did a really good job. I wish we would have recorded it because it could have been a part of our portfolio. But we were in the community, the schools, right? The education, the environment. You're helping out. You know, this is how these people will help you. They will help you there. So there's a lot of community resources in the local school district, the local companies, the community itself, the local business owners. There are a lot of people there that can provide resources that you don't have to leave the city or even the community, create an experience for your athlete. And then the last one here, and I talk about community and a lot of that in my book, The Player Development Guide. You can get that on Amazon. Let me get some water because I'm talking. All right. And the last one here is your conference. Your conference. What? Sorry, let me get some more water. The last one here is your conference. What is your conference doing? Does your conference have a student athlete leadership training, right? Does your conference have resources for you as a person getting this done? Reach out to your conference. There should be someone that is a social commissioner or someone handling a director or something that is handling student athlete welfare, student athlete, whatever you want to call it at that level. Reach out to your conference. Hey, is there anyone will somebody be in town? If you're in town, can you talk to our athletes about what you do? Right? You never know which one of your athletes wants to do something, right? Right? You never know what your conference resources have. Your conference has to raise money. Maybe they have funds set aside. Maybe you can just go visit the conference offices. That would be a great opportunity for your athletes, right? Hey, we're gonna go on a trip. Hey, can y'all set up the trip? Can y'all cover the trip? Yeah, we'll cover the trip. They get to meet the commissioner. They get to see different things. You invite the players that would be interested in that type of those type of careers that happen there. But what can your conference do for you? If you're a high school coach listening to this, right? What can your school district do for you? What can your school district do for you? Right? What can they do? Can they get certain things done for you? So you want to look at that. You want to look at the conferences. You want to look at the support that you can get from a conference level, because that is important. That is important to say, hey, this conference, I bet you this, I'll tell you this. If you win, that conference definitely going to represent and make sure that right? You win championships, you win playoff games, you win national championships, all that. That conference is going to make sure that they highlight you. So why don't you work with them now? Work with them now and say, hey, let's start working on this right now. We got some great things. We got some great initiatives that I want to do. How can you help? How can you help where I am at? I'm telling you, most conferences will help, and they'll be excited to help, right? They'll be excited to help because they're able to then have these stories, right? You had a media day. What can we do around media day? Every team has media day. That's where we're going to meet the conference. How can we make this organic? We're going to meet. Let's make this organic. So please reach out to your conference, see what your conference could do for you. You know what? Since you sat here and listened, I'm thankful for you. I'm going to add an extra one. Here we go. An extra C right here. The fourth C is your city county. What can your city and your county do for you? What resources does the city and county have that can help you in the role? Be it if you're looking for the personal wellness, the community impact, and the career development of your athlete, which were the 3 pillars I use in the Beyond the Field program, which you can read more in my book, which you can find on Amazon or in the show notes. But what is the city and county? What resources do they have? What can the government officials provide, right? Like I had good relationships with the mayor of Houston, rest in peace, God rest his soul, Sylvester Turner. He was a University of Houston grad. When we had official visits, he would come, one time he's randomly at a hotel, we had official visits. We got recruiters just got a chance to talk to him, randomly, hey, you're the mayor of Houston. And he just got to talk to him about what mayors do, right? What does the county do? What's in the county level, right? What are the county resources? What are the career, the city and the county will have career services. How can those career services be gifted or be used or provide value for your athletes, right? They're going to have different counseling resources. How can you use that? But the city and county has resources as well. And guess what? They want to be locked in because once again, if you win, guess who's going to be using you, right? And city is different than community. So I use a college town like Lawrence. We had a specific community in Lawrence that was KU supporters, but the city of Lawrence, like getting out to the city, right, is like the entire city, the structures of the city, right? You're getting resources from people who have resources or funding in the city. And the county, as you all know, is even greater than that, right? How can you find those resources? How can you get those people to provide value to what you're doing? So there it is. That is the game plan to use if you're a school that you're a smaller program, you have less resources, right? If you're a high school, or if you're someone at a school where you have resources, but they're not giving it to you, right? Wherever you find yourself on that spectrum of I need help, those three can help you. Figure out how you can get help from your campus, your community, and your conference. And then the fourth one is check out your city and county. That special one, that extra one was there for you because I appreciate you spending time with me. As always, go out and create generational impact. Don't wait, create that generational impact today. Share this with someone and subscribe. I think I got it back here, right? Subscribe, share, like. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see y'all next week on the Player Development Path. As always, for you all that are watching and listening, thank you. And as always, go out and create generational impact. Don't wait, create that generational impact today.